Hey everybody, and welcome to the deep dive. Today we're diving into something a little different. We're going to explore a YouTube video, and it approaches this really tough topic, Alzheimer's caregiving, through a spiritual lens.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we're talking about Jewish mystical teachings.
Right.
It's not about, medical tips or practical advice. It's really about finding a new way to look at this journey.
I see. So like a different perspective.
Exactly. Like maybe even finding those hidden blessings.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like imagine this, you're caring for a loved one with Alzheimer's.
Mm.
And you just happen to come across this video. The speaker, she's been there.
Mm-hmm.
She actually cared for her father with Alzheimer's for 15 years.
Wow.
And she found comfort, strength even, in these ancient Jewish texts, the Torah and Kabbalah.
Huh. Well, that's fascinating. I mean, most people would probably turn to like support groups or, modern medical advice, but to find solace in those ancient texts,
Right. It's not the usual route.
it's really interesting.
And what's so powerful is that she doesn't just focus on the difficulties, which, let's face it, are very real, but she highlights how caregiving, even with all its challenges, can be an opportunity for personal growth.
Yeah, that makes sense. You're
You're-
you're constantly having to adapt and be patient and
Right. Think about it. You're practicing patience every single day. Empathy, resilience,
yeah,
these are qualities that we often overlook or take for granted,
absolutely.
but they're being strengthened within you through this whole experience.
You're being forced to grow in a way that most people, don't have to. And those qualities don't just benefit you in that caregiving role either. They ripple out.
Into all aspects of your life.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like this hidden gift, this unexpected growth that's happening right in the middle of all the challenges.
I like that. Hidden gift. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. And to illustrate this whole finding blessings in unexpected places idea, the video,
Mhm.
it brings in this fascinating story from the Book of Numbers.
Okay.
It's the story of Balak and Balaam.
Balak and Balaam.
Yeah. Now, I know we're getting a little biblical here, but bear with me.
Yeah.
It connects back to caregiving.
Okay. All right. I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So Balak, this king, he wanted to curse the Israelites. He was really afraid of their power.
Oh, I see.
So he hires this prophet, Balaam, to do it, to curse them.
Okay.
And Balak, he goes all out, right? Makes these elaborate sacrifices, thinks they'll like guarantee the curse will work.
Wow. Talk about going the extra mile.
Right. But here's the twist.
Yeah.
Instead of cursing the Israelites, Balaam ends up blessing them.
What?
And those sacrifices, the ones that were supposed to bring harm, they end up bringing blessings to Balak's descendants generations later.
No way. That's incredible. So wait, how does this ancient story, how does that relate to caregiving?
Well, it's like a reminder. Sometimes even when our efforts seem completely pointless or even, negative,
Mm.
they can have positive consequences that we don't even see coming. It's like those moments when you're just exhausted and frustrated, you feel like you're not making any difference whatsoever.
Yeah.
This story's telling us those acts of love and sacrifice, they really do matter. They have a ripple effect,
Mm-hmm.
even if we can't see it right then.
So even when it feels like you're not making progress, something's happening beneath the surface.
Exactly.
That's a really powerful message, especially for caregivers who might be struggling. Like planting a seed, you might not see the sprout right away,
Right.
but something's happening underground.
I love that.
Yeah.
Speaking of hidden, the video talks about the Hebrew word for sacrifice,
Yeah.
korbanah,
Oh,
and it actually comes from a root word meaning to draw near.
that's interesting.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
And this reframing of sacrifice is so important. It's not just about like loss or burden.
Yeah.
It's about getting closer,
Yeah.
to something much bigger than ourselves, to a
Mhm.
deeper understanding of love and compassion.
I see.
Think about all the sacrifices you make as caregivers, the time, the energy,
Oh, yeah.
emotional toll.
It's constant worry. The sleepless nights.
Absolutely. Through this lens, these acts, these profound expressions of love and service,
Mm.
they have deep spiritual significance, even if nobody else sees it.
It's like you're speaking a different language.
Right.
The language of the heart.
Yes.
Transcends the day-to-day struggles.
And that brings us to this beautiful idea from the video, the hidden blessings in caregiving.
Yeah.
You're developing incredible inner qualities, strength, compassion, selflessness.
Yeah.
You're facing challenges that most people, they can't even imagine. And you're doing it with grace and courage.
And it's easy to get lost in the day-to-day, to feel overwhelmed by the demands of it all,
Yeah, absolutely. But this idea of hidden blessings, it shifts your perspective.
Yeah.
It helps you see that even amidst the difficulties, there's this incredible transformation happening within you.
You're like a hero on a hidden journey.
I like that.
And that journey has its own rewards, its
Yeah.
own sense of purpose and meaning. You
Mhm.
know, you might not get a medal or a standing ovation,
Right.
but you are making a profound difference in the life of your loved one.
And in your own life too, right? I mean, these qualities,
Mm.
this resilience you're building, it doesn't just disappear when you're not in your caregiving role.
No, it becomes a part of who you are.
It's a gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, and the video emphasizes that these acts of caregiving, they're recognized and valued in the spiritual realm.
Really?
Yeah, it's like there's this unseen force, this
Hmm.
energy of love and compassion that surrounds you and supports you.
That's amazing. It's almost like having a guardian angel.
Exactly, you're not alone in this. And that brings me to something I found really interesting. The speaker talks about how studying the Torah and Kabbalah gave her a deeper understanding of the spiritual dimension of caregiving.
Okay.
She came to see the challenges she faced not as punishments or like random acts of fate,
Mm-hmm.
but as opportunities for growth and transformation.
That's a profound shift.
It is. It takes away the feeling of being victimized, and it empowers you to find meaning in the midst of suffering.
Right. And it reminds us that even when facing loss and decline, there's still beauty and purpose to be found.
Like finding a wildflower in a crack in the sidewalk.
Yes.
There's this resilience, this tenacity
Mhm.
that shines through in the most unexpected places.
And the speaker, she encourages us to view our own caregiving journey through this lens, not as a burden, but as a sacred opportunity.
Yeah, to develop those profound qualities of the soul.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And it makes me think about something else that the video touched on, the importance of self-care. You
Mm-hmm.
know, caregivers so often put their own needs last.
Oh, absolutely.
But she stresses that nurturing your own well-being is essential
It's crucial.
to providing compassionate and sustainable care.
It's not selfish
No,
to prioritize yourself.
it's the opposite.
Yeah, when you take care of yourself, you're better equipped to care for others.
It's like that saying about putting on your own oxygen mask first.
Yeah.
You can't pour from an empty cup.
Exactly. And she gives some practical tips for self-care, like finding moments of stillness,
Yeah.
reflection, connecting with nature, reaching out for support from others.
It's so important. Even just 5 minutes of quiet time or a walk outside,
Absolutely.
it can make a huge difference. And connecting with other caregivers, sharing your stories,
Yeah.
offering each other support.
Invaluable.
Yeah, community is so important when you're going through something as complex as this.
Definitely. You don't have to do this alone. Now, I thought the speaker's perspective on the progression of the disease was really interesting.
Oh, yeah.
She talked about how, from a spiritual point of view, the person with Alzheimer's is gradually shedding their earthly attachments and preparing for their soul's journey back to the divine.
Wow. I've never thought about it that way.
Yay.
It's a way to reframe those changes that we might see as losses, seeing them instead as a process of purification and spiritual awakening.
Yeah, it's a reminder that even as the disease progresses, there's still a soul present, a being of infinite worth and dignity. And our role as caregivers is to accompany our loved ones on this journey with love, compassion, and respect.
To be their companions on this sacred pilgrimage. That's beautiful.
It brings us to her message of hope. You know, she reminds us that even though Alzheimer's can feel like this long and lonely road,
Yeah.
there's a really profound sense of connection and purpose in caregiving.
It's like you're forging this unbreakable bond, a
Yeah.
sacred connection that goes beyond the
Yeah.
physical world.
Exactly. She wants us to see ourselves as spiritual warriors, you know, bravely facing the challenges
Wow.
and emerging transformed.
That's powerful. It's not just about like enduring hardship, but embracing this opportunity to grow,
Yeah.
to become a stronger, more compassionate version of yourself.
Recognizing the hero within.
I like that.
And she also says that even though we might not see the results of our efforts, you know, in the physical world, our acts of love and sacrifice, they're creating these ripples of positive energy that go way beyond ourselves.
Like ripples in a pond,
Yes. You throw a pebble in and the waves just keep going.
expanding outward.
Exactly. It's about trusting that even small acts of kindness can have a huge impact. And she ends by encouraging us to look for support and guidance from our own spiritual traditions. Yeah, and to find comfort in knowing that we're not alone.
That sense of community, that shared understanding can be so powerful.
It is. It's a reminder that we're all in this together.
We are. And she leaves us with this beautiful thought. Even in the midst of the storm,
Oh, I like that.
there is a stillness within you that cannot be shaken.
That's so comforting. You know, it reminds us that even when everything feels chaotic and unpredictable,
Yeah.
There's always a place of peace and strength inside.
And that inner strength.
Yeah.
That's what'll sustain us through the tough times, and help us see the hidden blessings in this journey.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into this unique perspective on Alzheimer's caregiving, let's recap.
Okay.
We explored this idea that caregiving, while challenging, can be a path to growth.
Yeah, a chance to cultivate patience, empathy, resilience.
We learned about the power of shifting our perspective, not just seeing it as negative, but recognizing the potential for spiritual transformation.
For both the person with Alzheimer's and the caregiver.
We talked about that ancient story of Balak and Balaam, remember? Yes, a reminder that even those efforts that seem futile can have unexpected positive outcomes.
Just like those acts of caregiving that sometimes feel thankless.
And we discovered the deeper meaning of the word sacrifice.
Korban.
Understanding that those sacrifices we make as caregivers aren't just burdens, but acts of love that bring us closer to something bigger.
And most importantly, we talked about the hidden blessings of caregiving, the inner strength, the compassion, the selflessness. You truly are heroes, even if the world doesn't always see it.
It's true.
We want to leave you with one final thought-provoking question. How might viewing your own caregiving journey through this spiritual lens change your experience, even if just a little bit?
Maybe it's finding a moment of gratitude in the middle of challenges.
Or recognizing the strength you found within yourself.
Or maybe it's feeling a little less alone, a little more understood.
Whatever it is for you, we encourage you to explore. Look into that story of Balak and Balaam. Delve into the world of Jewish mysticism, or find resources that speak to you.
There's so much wisdom out there.
The path of caregiving is rarely easy, but it's full of opportunities for growth, connection, and love. You're not just caring for your loved one's physical needs, you're nurturing their soul. And in doing so, you're nurturing your own. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.